you know, one immediate thing that struck me is that the deck is just not where a reasonable human could like actually access the space.
Yeah.
So
You're a leap and jump person, but you got a whole lot of people who don't want to leap and jump.
exactly. I've got a whole lot of people who need steps
Mm.
and who need, that sort of structure. Mm, We're gonna pretend that's a ramp. Mostly because I don't have any other like thin little guys that wouldn't drive me crazy.
Mm.
'Cause I have these thin little guys. Okay. All right. I feel like you're watching me build this in real time, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Sorry, Rach.
No apologies. This is building. This is part of thinking it through and figuring it out.
Is this painful? Are you like, oh no?
We can do it with words or we can do it with Lego.
Well, Lego's a lot easier than words, I think, sometimes.
Agree.
I feel like you can almost see my struggle with structure as I'm
Yeah.
trying to build this because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Talk to me as you're building this. What are the challenges that are happening between what you are thinking you want and what's coming together?
part of it is like, and I imagine this is by design, all of the pieces that normally I would want to be able to create like a little step aren't there. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to get creative around how I build those steps.
Mm.
Um, and I
And
think,
so, how is that translating also to this thing that you're tasked with?
sorry, repeat that.
These Legos are a metaphor. There's actually reality, though. You are tasked with getting your team to this boat, and we don't always have what we want. What are some of the things that you feel like you don't have in this ideal to getting the team to where they need to go?
Trust
Trust. Okay, so how do you build trust into this model?
into this model.
Hmm. Yeah. You just took a deep sigh and said, you don't have trust on here.
Yeah, I think that certainly helped.
What did that unlock just now?
The conversation or the Lego?
Well, the Lego unlocked something in your brain. So what did it unlock?
Uh, Prior to adding this piece in, this piece was just kind of floating in space.
Okay.
It wasn't locked to the boat itself, which for me is like it is my role as a leader to bring the pieces together.
Hmm.
This is what I have to do for my team is bring these pieces together, make the pieces work when there aren't the right pieces, right? Like that is so much of my role and my responsibility. And I think, I need to give them a pathway to they have to trust in the structure. I know they trust me, but they need to trust in the structure. They need to trust that when they step on this, it's not going to do that. Um,
Okay, so you need to give them a path with structure that they trust.
yes.
Okay, so based on our conversation today, what have you learned that you want to action on?
Yeah, I think the
You can lift up your camera actually. Let's chat.
oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me the first immediate realization was actually a really interesting one with the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much time has already gone by. Um,
No, it's
awesome.
time flies when you Lego.
Time flies. Yeah, but I think for me the first one was the ladder. I'm like, hey guys, look at this fancy new boat. Here's a ladder to get yourself up there.
To go
But,
jump to.
but you're gonna have to go jump and figure that out.
Yeah.
which no, is just not the right way. Like if anybody had jumped from where I had initially set the boat, the old boat to the new boat, some folks will make it because they're, athletic or whatever, right? Like in the broader metaphor, they're more resilient when it comes to change, maybe more open to change. Maybe they have that buy-in. Maybe they have, like the ideal human person that has no outside problems and nothing else in their life. It's just like, this
Yeah.
is severance, right? Like they are an employee and that is
Yeah.
it. That those people, sure, they could probably make that jump and hit just fine. But there's
Yeah.
going to be a series of folks who are not going to be able to make that latter leap. And
Okay.
it's not fair for me as their leader to say, hey, dudes, I gave you the pathway onto the boat. I gave you a ladder.
Yeah. And your I operating system has you generally approach things of like, let's go do it. We can do it and jump. So what I'm hearing is you need to take a step back
Mhm.
and do an audit of what are the jumps that, like, if you were to go forth from where you were prior to this conversation, what jumps are you expecting them to make?
Yeah.
Okay. And then after you've done that audit, what are you going to do?
I think then it's about building a dock, building a platform, building an actual strong pathway that these folks that is connected to the broader idea,